Sir is the Chief Mentor of Maharashtra Knowledge Corporation Limited and a visionary leader dedicated to bridging the digital divide through large-scale digital literacy and empowerment initiatives. As the founding managing director of MKCL for 18 years, he led the launch of flagship MSCIT program, which has trained over 2 crore learners through a vast network of learning centers across urban, rural, and remote areas. His innovative public-private community partnership model made digital education affordable, inclusive, and accessible with strong participation from women and marginalized groups. Under his leadership, MKCL developed more than 250 e-learning and digital employability programs, benefiting millions of youths in India and abroad. His work has been replicated by several state governments and has reached learners in over 180 countries. Prior to MKCL, Shri Sawant sir contributed significantly to India's technological advancement at CDAC, where he played a key role in the development of India's first indigenous supercomputer, Param, and trained thousands of advanced computing professionals. An educator at heart, he began his career as a college professor and continues to contribute to policy, research, and social initiatives related to digital empowerment, education, motivation, and inclusive development. His lifelong mission is to spread computer literacy and create equitable access to digital opportunities, positively impacting more than 4 crore people. He has numerous national and international awards received for his contributions to education, technology, leadership, and social transformation. I request Sir to deliver the keynote address.
Please welcome Sir with a round of applause.
Good morning, everybody. Am I audible? Yeah. I first of all express my gratitude to the organizers for inviting me to this important program. Actually, in my introduction, you heard something about me and about my technological background. So you might be imagining that now a lot of boredom will be inflicted, a lot of jargon will be told. So I am remembering one similar conference in US when people from technology were invited and one of the speakers went on and he started putting all the jargon. Slowly he started writing some equations. And fortunately, that hall had many exits. So the audience started leaving. Eventually, the whole auditorium was completely empty. But his lecture was going on. But one member of the audience was still waiting. He suddenly stood up with a pistol in his hand, holding like this. So the speaker got frightened. He said, no, my subject is so complex. I cannot make it simpler than this. So please forgive me. What did the member of the audience say? He said, you please move away. I'm not in search of you. I'm in search of the one who invited you for this program. So I'm extremely careful about Professor Inde, Professor Jagtap, Madhumita ji, and all the organizers. So I will see to it that, they are safe. We are talking about safe AI and secure AI, etc. So I must first ensure that the organizers are safe. The word marginalization is a very interesting word because while I was on the dais, I was to start my presentation at 10:45 and end at 11:30. Now, I'm feeling marginalized. But Madhumita ji is so generous. She said, no, please, you have come all the way from Pune, so please inflict the boredom on my students and don't worry about the time. So, friends, I'm really grateful to you that with such a great patience and such a great generosity, you are still waiting. Had I been in your place, by this time I would have been in the canteen. Okay. So thankful to you. The things have changed so much that when I was of your age, we had one equation, data into program is equal to change data. That was the norm of computing. All the things that we did is we took some data and produced a change data by using programs or by using algorithms. So algorithm used to be the input. Now what has happened? Now you start with data, you make big data, from that you do machine learning, and from machine learning you generate algorithms. So algorithm has become an output. So much the world has changed. And as Mr. Prabhu said very rightly, that algorithms are almost taking control of this civilization. And perhaps, we are building what is called as a programmable civilization, which you and me don't want to actually build. We want to still keep it as human civilization. And Madhumita ji really rightly pointed out, and I really thank you, such a profound comment, because the AI 20th century was trying to mimic everything that human intelligence can do. That was the plan, that was the dream. Including, they were trying to think that AI can even direct movies, which is the most complex human endeavor. However, over a period of 60 years, there has been consistent failure in that research, to the extent to which twice the entire funding of AI research was stopped because they could not deliver a man or a human brain out of a machine. There was a claim by Marvin Minsky that we will create mind out of mindless parts. Okay, as if mind is a structure. Actually, mind is a function, one of the important functions of brain, but they were thinking mechanically. And nothing of that sort actually could materialize. When I was in CDAC, we used to call AI as expert systems, and that whole effort has failed. To the extent to which I will tell you my own experience, that I used to use Dragon for dictation. So I used to speak, this I am telling you 30 years ago, 30. So I used to speak and it used to type. But once I was on my tour and my PA, she tried. And it didn't recognize. Because every one of us had to train Dragon separately for each one of us, We had to train it. Rule-based AI. Now it's all pattern-based, algorithm-based. So when you open your WhatsApp and start speaking, it takes your voice and converts that into text. You don't require any training. That is the sea change. Now, therefore, 60 years later, the scientific community took a very wise direction. It's a divergent direction, and that is to build an AI which can do things which human beings cannot do. Okay, so now there is a human endeavor on one side and there is a non-human endeavor on the other side, which is the scope of AI. And the two together therefore can make a great partnership, because either of them is complementary to other and not supplementary to other. Of course, you may say that, one of our tasks is to write project report and AI can write it. So it can do what human beings can do. But remember, AI can write it in 3 seconds. And human beings cannot write that. Okay, so now the era of partnership with AI has come, in which, apart from my speech of marginalization and AI bias, I know that you also have an anxiety in your mind whether you will be marginalized in the job market. And that is a very important concern for all of you. I will be touching the aspect and give you a source of hope and a very profound hope, in fact, so that you have to be free of worries when you leave this hall. I will first cover the topic and then come to this very important aspect so that you should not be marginalized. I'll quickly go over the slides now because time is limited. Perhaps some portion of the slide you will have to read and others I will comment on, and we will finish this. All the slides will be with you so that you can make use of them later in more greater details. And what I have done is I have put very little text on each slide so you don't have to take too much of pain. Okay? Means if you have a smartphone with you, you can also parallelly do your other things. Okay? Only this slide has too much of this thing, which is for your academic interest. You pursue it later. There are 23 different types of biases which come because of AI. Okay, because as I told you, AI starts with data, then there is a machine learning on that, and there is an algorithm which gets generated out of it. So when you start with data, data comes from civilization. Data comes from you and me. And whatever biases we have, they percolate in the data. And there are various types of biases, including the last one that you see is a surveillance bias. Okay? We are a surveillance ecosystem. Everywhere we are under surveillance. So each one of them is contributing to the bias. I'm not going to read everything. You are, I hope last people are able to read this. Yes or no? Some of them. Okay. But later I will have a much bigger font. Don't worry. So these are the types of areas in which you see the bias, and we'll see each one of them. This is perhaps a bias in credit scoring. Our farmers want credit. The MSME in Maharashtra, you will be shocked to know, is short of only 19,000 rupees of credit on an average, but they don't get it. And this is the story of almost 86% MSMEs in Maharashtra. When their past history is used and when the credit systems are tuned to give the credits who are traditionally credit worthy, these people get marginalized. Okay? This is how the credit system works. And you can study this later in greater details. And you know that AI is everywhere. And all those areas which I showed you, where they tend to create a bias, everywhere AI is penetrating and creating those biases. It has been more enhanced kind of a bias in developed world. But slowly, slowly it is coming to us. So we should be, exercising a lot of caution before it comes and hits us. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, very wise of them. Thank you. Thank you so much. And you see that AI is for efficiency, okay? Whether it is reducing cost, whether it is improving speed, or whether it is improving quality. But at the same time, it can automate inequality because the inequality is already there in the data, and that gets further accentuated with the AI taking control of that. Now, let's see in whose favor is AI, okay? And we see that this is a more defining question because in spirituality they ask a question, who am I? In social life we have to ask a question, whose am I? Okay, so whose is this AI? And how the people get marginalized because AI databases are actually having bias. Marginalization does not happen all by itself. It is a systematic exclusion. Okay, by virtue of the AI system, they are excluded, and that is why we require more of systemic corrections. And this happens because social, economic, cultural, political, technological, everywhere there is a less of participation. These are the various people who are under the marginalization. In the first category of women, there are many subcategories. Okay, but I leave it to you to study them further because time is limited. But if you can see, right from women to orphans to transgenders to SC, ST, OBCs, then religious minorities, economically challenged people, then there are racial minorities, which is largely in the US. I'll show you some examples of that. Then persons with disabilities, linguistic minorities, those who live in different areas, okay, geographically challenged people. Then there are gig workers. If you see the gig workers today, various platforms have brought something like 3 crore people as gig workers. Okay, you get Swiggy and Zomato and all that, 20 minutes delivery and all those kinds of things. Now, in the morning, that fellow gets up, who has come all the way from, say, Sholapur or, say, Usmanabad to come to Pune to become a gig worker. And in the morning, he sees that his app is switched off. He has no guarantee of his job. Okay, there is no social security. And the AI decides that he should be switched off. Okay, there are 3 crore such youngsters in India today on platforms. Okay, they are completely marginalized. Then there are migrants and refugees, forced migrants as well as voluntary migrants and refugees. So these are the various people who are under the threat of marginalization. And AI multiplies the existing patterns. Okay, if the existing pattern is not in favor of women, then AI will further accentuate it. You can see this, what happens to them. Okay, first is in voice recognition. Okay, there is a bias for men. Then in the hiring software, I will show you something more about hiring software against women. And also in the translation softwares, like you have the gendered roles in translation also. So there are more stereotypes there. AI hiring is having bias against women, and the female applicants are filtered because the previous recruitments have happened more on women, more on men. If you see today in the Indian corporate, in the leadership positions, you will be shocked to know that 74% women are eligible for those positions. However, only 1% actually get it. Okay, this is the bias in our society, and that bias percolates in databases, and hence AI gets biased. So we are not supposed to blame AI. We should correct ourselves. Okay. These are the various types of hiring biases you can see there. There are 4 important areas. One is the measurement bias, another is the representation bias, third is the sample bias, and fourth is the algorithmic bias. Everywhere there are issues, and students like you have great opportunity, a job, career, startup, everything, to remove the biases. Because the biases will not be removed by AI, biases will be removed by you and me, and those are very important career opportunities also. AI is going wrong almost 24% areas, 24% is the rate of AIs going wrong because of mistakes. And when AI goes wrong, human beings have to step in. That is a simple rule in technology. Any technology goes wrong, human beings have to step in. And there is a scope for 24%. Okay. Creditworthiness is, I told you already about this. Now about face recognition. Face recognition, it favors the white populations, and I have shown you how it happens in the picture. Just can you keep quiet? Please, I'm getting disturbed. Okay. Facial recognition fails to recognize the darker skins. Okay. Each one of these bias I am showing you because each one of this will give you a career opportunity. You as student should look at it from that perspective, not from just perspective of listening to the facts rather than building some dreams as to how to remove the bias, because that's a great task human beings have to perform. Discrimination in algorithmic outputs. The first type of bias is data bias. Okay, and you can keep reading what I have written below so that we will save the time. Second bias is labeling. Labeling today is a big opportunity. Large number of people on the planet are working for labeling the databases. Okay, and again their biases come in labeling. Means if a face is that of a girl from a religious minority, then they will label it differently. You know, those are the problems which are coming up because they are culturally in our brains, and that's why there are biases like this. Algorithmic bias, which develop from data because it comes from deep learning. Deployment bias means, as you can see, the systems are used in the context which are outside the scope of the system. So there are biases. Means, for example, the context is there are large number of educated women in India. There are a large number of them applying for the positions, but the model has been trained for something else. So there is a deployment bias. AI further accentuates AI. Okay? And that is why there is a feedback loop bias. So statistical accuracy does not mean that there is a social fairness. Social fairness has to be established by us. So by default there are risks for poor, by default there are risks for women, by default there are risks for SC, ST, by default there are risks for religious minorities and like that. So fairness has to be our norm, and we have to work towards it. DPI, India's digital public infrastructure, is one of the greatest things India has built over the last 20 years, right from starting from 2008 when we brought Aadhaar. And now we have Aadhaar, we have UPI, we have DigiLocker, we have Gati Shakti, we have ONDC, we have Digi Yatra, and so many things, okay? All these applications are integrated. We are leading almost 50 different countries in the world, including some of the developed countries like Singapore, etc., are following India in this area. And as Mr. Prabhu rightly said, that even the semi-literate women are using the account-to-account transfer by using UPI. However, in those databases, they can exclude certain communities, they can exclude certain people to whom they intend to serve. Okay, like you can see in Jan Dhan accounts, also it happened. Or the farmers who really faced challenges did not get the insurance. Okay, so all these things happen because of, and I've shown you the various reasons why it happens. In fact, a very simple reason is no access to internet, okay, or poor access to internet itself causes this kind of a bias. In addition to not recognizing the dialects. Now, if you go to the area from where Mr. Madhukarrao Chaudhari started his political life, there large number of people speak Irani language, and AI doesn't understand that. Okay, so there are so many areas. To bring these dialects under the purview of AI is a great career opportunity. Okay, the Bhashini project which is going on, Government of India has a very ambitious project in which you can also work and bring dialects. So that large number of people, for example, Central India, people speak Gondi. Gondi is not there in AI. Okay, now some projects have begun so that those people will not be marginalized. So that when they speak in Gondi, it will be converted into text immediately. They speak in Gondi, it can be translated into 100 languages. That fortune we have for Marathi, but not for all dialects of Marathi. Okay, and therefore large number of, there are 12 different languages the tribals of Maharashtra speak. None of them is under the coverage of AI. The entire area of informal workers, 96% of our employment is informal in India. And because their records are not digitized, because they are not formally disclosed, or they don't come into certain systems, they remain invisible to AI. Their problems remain invisible to AI. Their eligibilities remain beyond AI. And the areas that you see below, like gig workers, agricultural advisories, and agricultural laborers, etc., they fall into this. Street vendors fall into this area. So they feel they get marginalized. They don't get credit because their credit worthiness is not established in the formal systems which are accessible to AI. One of the reasons why Dr. Manmohan Singh insisted on giving the daily wages of the Manarega, that is Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, through the banks only or through the Indian postal system was because he wanted to establish creditworthiness of these marginalized communities so that eventually they can be given credits, they can start their own businesses or some small livelihoods, and thereby there will be no requirement of an employment guarantee scheme in India eventually. So that was the planning, and that is how those people at least have come into the purview of the formal systems and therefore under the coverage of AI. The traditional businesses focus on maximization of profit, whereas, and of course shareholder value, what is the dividend given to the shareholder, what is the bottom line of this quarter, etc. And so it creates some, socially it creates some blind spots. What we need is a responsible AI. Okay, we need a transparent AI, we need a trustworthy AI, we need a responsible AI, we need a accountable AI, we need a AI which is fair to all, we need an AI which is explainable. So whenever it gives you certain recommendation that you see this YouTube movie or you take this product, okay, 38% of the purchases that you make on Amazon are guided by the recommendation engine of Amazon. So you feel that you are taking the decision, however, your decision is actually taken by AI. Okay, so it means AI is such a funny thing that only your smartphones will not be hacked, or your laptops will not be hacked, or your email accounts will not be hacked. Okay, you will be hacked. Okay, you will think that a particular decision in your life of buying a product or going to a particular restaurant or ordering something home or giving some gift to some relative on birthday or marrying with someone or giving vote to someone or taking a loan from someone or investing into certain mutual fund, you feel that all these decisions you are taking by exercising your free will. However, actually your free will is getting hacked. And And you feel that because you feel that this decision has been taken by you, you start convincing others that because I voted for this party, you also vote for that party. Whereas you don't know that you yourself have not taken a decision to vote for a party. Okay, that is how the marginalization happens. Because the responsible AI is not there, explainable AI is not there, it does not give you any explanation as to why it is telling you to watch a particular web series. It just recommends that you should watch. And then you watch. Because you feel that you have taken a decision to click there. Okay. So this kind of the happening is there in the business, and therefore the bias AI it leads to regulatory penalties, legal liability, and consumer backlash, as well as talent loss. All these things are happening because the responsible AI is not around. And you will be surprised to know that people have been arrested wrongly because of the bias in AI. And they have been fighting their cases in courts. Okay, like Mr. Prabhu also mentioned, inclusive AI will create sustainable market expansion. And you see that when you bring large number of people into credit system, naturally the market sustainability grows. Which are the other countries which are creating regulations? See, for example, after 9th of August 1945, there has been never a use of atomic energy or a nuclear weapon on the human society. Okay. It is not out of accident. It is because after the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the international community came together and they created very, very complex, intricate frameworks of international cooperation, and that is how there has so far not been the use of nuclear weapons on human society. It is not out of accident or it is not a coincidence. It is deliberately done by international community. Similar thing you observe in case of your the pharmaceuticals. You get all the ingredients printed on the boxes, and that is your right. What are the side effects? And they can be sued in the court of law, the pharmaceutical industry. That is the right you have got because of the international understanding about it and the regulatory frameworks. The cars meet with an accident. However, the design of the car has to conform to certain regulations which are international. Okay, that is why, in fact, there is greater safety and less number of accidents. Had it not been there, there would have been even more accidents. So similar thing has to happen in case of AI. And therefore, in India, the governance, whatever e-governance software you people will write, and there are lots of opportunities there, you know, you will have to take care of the demarginalization. Simplest thing, biggest career opportunity for people like you is there are 5 crore cases pending in various courts of law in India. Okay, creating correct agentic AI will perhaps solve these cases in the wink of an eye. That is a clear technological possibility. Okay, so somebody should get into this and start pushing the system, because I spoke to you about marginalized women. You go to any court in Maharashtra, I can talk about Maharashtra, perhaps it may be the situation all over India, at least you will meet 300 women who are waiting in the courts of Maharashtra to just get the next date. Not the justice on that day, just get the next date. And what is the vision of IBM Watson? They said that IBM Watson will be the future of justice. Not even the lawyers, but even the judges' work, AI will be able to perform so that people get some justice, quick justice. Okay, otherwise cases are pending for 20 years. And therefore, our ethics in AI should abide by the constitutional values, and that is where we have to be vigilant, and we can achieve that actually goal. Actually, you know that we are a part of Global South. Our Prime Minister keeps telling about Global South. And we are actually, what is happening in AI is a very interesting thing for students of management. That all other products, get manufactured as a finished product in the factory and then the customer gets it. So customer enjoys the product after it has been manufactured. In case of AI, the products and services are being co-created by customers. Okay, because you give the data, and from your data, the algorithms are getting, created, and you use those algorithms again. So you are actually producing the products and services. In the previous era, in a primordial form of AI, you used to do Google search. Every search you made the Google search engine more and more efficient and effective. So Google search engine is actually made by those who searched on Google. Okay, so that is how customers co-create the products and services. What we have to remember is we are not getting any compensation, our data is going out. So that is the reality which is coming. Content moderation also holds this. Then I'll go a little faster. Then there are global economic asymmetries about which Mr. Prabhu also spoke. These kind of systems, they underperform in case of our, say, for medical diagnostics. Because medical diagnostics, the databases are coming from largely the developed world. Okay, you can see this in this picture. The beauty of this area is that when large number of people in the developed world, all the healthcare data was submitted and was subjected to machine learning, deep learning, what is the outcome? The outcome today is that you don't have to give anything about your health, only give the chest X-ray, and the probability in terms of percentages as to getting the lung cancer can be detected only by chest X-ray. Meaning thereby that in the chest X-ray, there are certain hidden patterns of your genetic data, which so far the radiologist never knew. But AI has found out this very, very non-obvious, pattern. The great thing. So in 5 rupees or 10 rupees, or there is a possibility of democratization of healthcare. To the extent to which some of you can make a startup and be ready for 15 years of slogging and then great wealth in one area where AI includes Indian population, and with AI coming up in a big way, I really envy your generation because you are going to be using fantastic things by 2030, but that's not our topic today. Professor Dipankar Datta, Professor Ajay Singh, all great people are sitting here. They are going to talk to you throughout the day. The thing is that you can dream, because the young age is the age for dreaming. Don't worry about the practical realities around you. You can dream that all Indians, if AI is used inclusively, can get preventive health. Non-accidental health care of India can be completely preventive. It doesn't have to be curative. Not a single Indian will have to be put into any hospital, except in case of accidents. Because all parameters of the body can be continuously monitored day in and day out. That is the capability of AI, and therefore any such things, that any illness, you can correct it, as a preventive. Okay? So this is a great thing. Whereas the current databases have come from other countries, their genetic compositions are different, and therefore we get marginalized. The credit algorithms I already spoken. Learning tools. Okay, the learning tools, I'll tell you, my colleague, Mr. Amit Ranade is sitting here. He and his co-workers have developed something great. The learning platforms have lots of, problems of biases, right from accent and many other things. But now, in MKCL, every year we get 1 million plus students. And we have 300 plus courses for digital careers, employability. And we give jobs to thousands of people every day, even in rural Maharashtra, every year in rural Maharashtra. Now the problem is we have such a huge content. We are like a big content factory. And we have thousands and thousands of learning objects. When our learner comes to learn on the e-learning system, which has been largely influenced by, designed by Amit, what happens? Our content may be very rich, but is it personalized? It is not. So we developed an AI chatbot called Kranti. Kranti means knowledge revolution through advanced NLP technology integration, KRANTI. Now what does the Kranti do? Kranti is a beautiful girl, non-biological. She comes on the every login, and anytime the students ask anything, even in Marathi, about the content which is being played, the content may be to learn, say, Python, programming for some AI application. She will give the answers by speaking in Marathi. Okay. Now, we are bagging a big contract in Italy. Why? It's because there are 5 million poor people in Italy who can afford the digital learning courses only at MKCL's fee. All those courses will be instantly converted into Italian language. Okay. Now we created 864 episodes in Marathi for first standard to 8th standard students. And now you will be surprised, by using voice cloning technology and translation technologies together, each of characters, little children and teachers, everybody speaks in English. Okay, where none of them know actually English. They are Marathi medium students, but all the content is available in English language. Now, very soon, it will be available in 100 languages of the world. Okay, and 100 languages. So, demarginalization is possible. Whatever marginalization is happening because of AI, the same AI can be used for demarginalizing it. Okay. The thought that I want to leave here is that children today are getting essay in the school whether AI is a boon or a curse. And they write those stereotype essays. But you are postgraduate people, you should think very differently. No technology is either boon or a curse. The social, economic, political, strategic context in which it is used, it becomes either a boon or a curse. Okay. So if you start using AI for bringing education in a personalized form to the rural people, to the tribal people, then it is a boon. Okay. If you keep it like this, that it assumes English fluency, then you are using it as a curse. Okay. These are the standard things, you know them. So AI development has to be multidisciplinary. Who are the various experts that you require for AI? Just look at that. People are not going to, liberal arts in big way, but they are now required. Okay, Madhumita madam is highly required here. You can see the kind of areas which I have mentioned, which are required. Okay, means now the Nobel Prize has gone, the equivalent to Nobel Prize in engineering this year has gone to brain-computer interface. Now, brain-computer interface, that particular Nobel Prize, the research that led in, is so multidisciplinary that you cannot imagine various branches of knowledge, right from neurophysiology to psychology to law. Everything has come into that, and then that equivalent to Nobel Prize has been won. Okay, because brain has to be connected to computer directly. So if you have a word in your mind, it will get inserted between two words on your word processor screen. Okay, brain-computer interface. So all those who are marginalized because they are paralyzed, they can now say what they want to say from their brain directly into the computers. Okay, that is the kind of this year's award. So it's a multidisciplinary area, so nobody should feel that, I have to be only techie to be in AI. It's not so. AI is life. You are not going to use AI in life. You are going to live life in the ecosystem of AI. Okay, that much profound influence AI has on you. And therefore, explainable AI has to be a social demand. Okay, bias keeps changing because it comes in data, and data keeps changing, bias keeps changing. Continuous auditing of that is required, and that is where also human beings in partnership with AI get the career opportunities. Yes, this becomes a very direct impact of this. This is very important. This is where the jobs are also coming, because human beings require human beings. Okay, so human in the loop, because AI goes wrong in many places and human beings have to step in. So human beings trust the outputs of AI when they are communicated by human beings. Then only people accept. Okay, and especially Indians accept only when something is told by human beings. You can get a proof in this college itself. You put up a notice board, Jagtap sir, say that this is the last date of applying for the particular course, and just wait there and let people come, parents come, they look at the board, they read it, and they again ask you, what is the last date? Then you say that last date is 26. Yeah, 26. They will not trust that board. They will trust a person whom they do not know also, but they will trust the person. It's a psychology. Okay. Informal workers, you can provide new systems. Vernacular AI can unlock rural entrepreneurship, okay, and governance access. Then assistive technologies for those who are physically challenged. Then this is an emancipative use of technology that I want to highlight. Then those who are company secretaries, you also train some company secretaries, Jagtap sir? No. Okay, the company secretaries have to do the ESG compliances. So now algorithmic governance will have to be added. Those companies who have algorithmic integrity will get more contracts, because this will be ESG compliance very soon, and then they will get the contracts, others will not get the contracts. Okay, so the eligibility conditions in tenders and contracts will come. Sorry. So basically, all of you should understand how AI takes decisions. Okay, it's like a 21st century civic competency. When we teach MSc course, earlier it was digital literacy course. Now what is it? Now it is all AI literacy course. Okay, we teach something like 100 tools in AI to a person who is coming from very rural background and things like that, and they can use, because you represent data in 6 different ways: the text, images, audio, video, animation, and graphics. Either of this form can be converted into others with the wink of an eye. There are hundreds of tools now to take you from either into the other. So you can write just a text and you can get a video out of it. You can just get a video and create an animation out of it, and so on. Okay? So the civic literacy is very important. engineering curricula has to integrate ethics and bias in terms of case studies and human right frameworks. AI demands a new social contract, obviously. Then this AI systems must enhance to give the opportunities to the marginalized, which is the aim. It reflects society's, this equation is very important. Inclusive data practice plus ethical design is equal to equitable growth. So this is where we have to push the penetration of AI. It's not just merely computational, it is ethical, it is moral, everything. Okay? It can automate the discrimination or it can augment the justice. So this is the conclusion that I wanted to draw, that you decide, your strategy will decide finally whether it increases discrimination or automates it or whether it augments justice. So with this, I will now stop because my time is over. Thank you so much for patient listening. Finally, I will come to the last point, that how you will not be marginalized. And organizers will permit me for 2 minutes on this. See, normally, popularly, media is giving you breaking news that so many million people have lost jobs, so many thousands of people have lost jobs, like that. Continuous, because that makes a breaking news, that increases their TRP. So that is their problem of their bread and butter. Look at the facts. When any automation comes, it results into 4 different impacts on the job market. The first and the foremost, some job categories are killed. AI is job category killer and not job killer. It kills certain job categories, okay? Second impact is AI influences large number of other job categories. Okay, if you are a software developer, then your job category is influenced, it is not removed, because you have to become AI-assisted software developer. Okay, if you just go as a software developer, people will not appoint you, because companies cannot afford. But if you are AI-assisted software developer, you are taken in. How many of you have used Claude, by the way? Claude Chat or Claude Cowork? Very few. Okay. Doesn't matter. You can learn that. So, the thing is that second impact is large number of job categories are influenced by AI. The more you pick up and look at your job category and how to adapt to AI, you are on the better side of the world. The third, the AI bubble is expanding, and in order to design AI applications, in order to design AI systems, creating models, validating models, implementing them, delivering them, deploying them, maintaining them, the large number of jobs are coming, almost exceeding 4.5 crore. Finally, any automation, wherever it halts, on the circumference of it, outside the bubble, it creates a large service sector. Every automation in the history has created huge service sector. And just take an example of automobile. Okay, when automobile came, large number of petrol pumps emerged. And you require people to just put petrol into your car. Large number of, garages came. Large number of people became repairs and mechanics and things like that. Large number of dealership, outlets you saw. And right from clerks to managers to salesmen to marketing people, designing new schemes of selling cars, etc., that whole bubble has grown. So every automation leads to creation of a service sector, and service sector naturally requires people to serve people. Some of those people serve people by using technology. Some of the people serve people by not using that technology. Example, today the most automated sector in India is banking. Okay. In banking, several years ago, ATMs came. So everybody thought that some people have lost the jobs. Okay, because you started getting cash out of the machine. But what happened? All over the world, wherever the ATMs were installed, everywhere 3 security guards got the jobs. Okay, and millions of people got the job of security guard. Not to forget those people who got the jobs for repairing those ATMs and all those kinds of things, technical, related to those people who got the job who were for the customer grievance redressal because of ATM and all those kinds of things. So that was a huge service sector which gets created. And that creates millions of jobs. So what you have to see at your career is which categories are being getting extinct, how some categories are getting influenced. You can get into those categories because there are jobs to get AI-assisted professional, whether it is lawyer, engineer, or software developer, whatever, or content developer, whatever. Third is you have to see within AI bubble, can you get into like a techie, those kinds of jobs, okay? And outside that, you get the service sector. For example, these people who are doing labeling of AI, millions and millions of people are required for labeling. Okay, your self-driven car goes on the street because every aspect on the street is labeled. And that is why it gets to run smoothly. Why India is not having fully self-driven cars? Because difficult to label the roads of India, okay? So eventually it may happen. So basically, therefore, you have to see that the media can, misguide the people by telling that AI will kill the jobs. Okay? AI affects jobs in these 4 different ways. If you look at Yuval Harari's very, very sensational statement several years ago, that the Industrial Revolution created a working class and an AI revolution may create an unworking class. People got shattered. Now you get inside it. Why an unworking class will emerge? Only because 90% of the human beings on the planet, while performing 90% of their modern jobs, do not use 90% of their intrinsic human capabilities. They work like machines. Our education systems have converted us into machines. And now we have a competition with a superior machine. So if you are working like a machine, the machine will defeat you. If you are working like a human being, then the machine will be your partner. The AI will be your partner. And apart from your human intelligence, you have several things which fall beyond intelligence. Like creativity is beyond intelligence, judgment, wisdom, insights, compassion, empathy. All these things are beyond intelligence. They are not part of intelligence. So AI is never going to acquire it. Scientists use the correct word, generative. They don't use that it is a creative. It is not it is GPT, it is not CPT. Okay, remember that. Generative in Marathi means nirmiti kshama. Creative in Marathi means nava nirmiti kshama. AI is nirmiti kshama, you are nava nirmiti kshama. So you don't have to worry about that. Only you have to enrich your human potential. You have to rediscover what you are as human beings. 10 years ago, when I used to get a call from a call center girl, I used to tell her, and I have told this to many, many girls, that look, you are a human being, I am a human being, why are you not talking to me like a human being? Why are you talking to me like a machine? Okay. She used to say that, sir, we are supposed to do it in a scripted way. I used to tell her that if you do scripted way, you will lose the job. So she will alert me, sir, whatever you are saying is getting recorded. So I used to say, for whom? So she would say that some girl who will come next, she has to be trained, that's why this is getting recorded. I said, sorry, this is not getting recorded for training of other girl, this is getting recorded for training AI 10 years ago, and I have written it in public media also. And exactly the same thing happened, because all these girls were behaving like machines. There is no call center in India today. All has gone to the chatbots. So that is why I am saying that we have to be more human. Once you are a human, not only you will safeguard you, but you will also demarginalize all our communities. Thank you so much.
You can take your seat there.
Oh, sorry. Can I switch it off?
We will take care. We'll take
You
care.
can remove this.
That was indeed a very comprehensive and deeply thought-provoking keynote address. We request our CEO ma'am, Dr. Madhumita Patil ma'am, to kindly felicitate our keynote speaker. With a memento as a mark of our gratitude and appreciation. Vivek Sawant, sir. A loud round of applause, please.
हमारे देश में बहुत सारे वाद हैं, जैसे कि समाजवाद, भांडवलवाद, नक्सलवाद। वैसे ही एक वाद है और वो है धन्यवाद, और वो धन्यवाद देने के लिए मैं आपके सामने प्रस्तुत हूँ। On behalf of Management Chetna Trust and Organizing Committee of today's International Research Conference, I am here to express gratitude towards our respected keynote speaker, Mr. Vivek Sawant, Chief Mentor, MKCL, Maharashtra Knowledge Corporation Limited. Because today's generation, it is a tech-savvy. Gen Z, then generation Alpha, Beta, we can't imagine about them, how they would be. On the similar lines, just I will say few words. कोड की जुबान में लिखी है कहानी, कोड की जुबान में लिखी है कहानी, एआई कॉन्फ्रेंस में चमक रही है जवानी। हर सवाल का जवाब, हर मुश्किल का हल, हर सवाल का जवाब, हर मुश्किल का हल। यह कॉन्फ्रेंस है भाई, ये कॉन्फ्रेंस है यार, एक नए दौर का असल। Respected Vivek Sawant sir, we are very, very grateful to you. You have accepted our invitation for this 2 days conference in your busy schedule, and you have shared your knowledge, experience on the occasion of this 2 days International Research Conference. You have shared a very thought-provoking and practical learnings and knowledge with respect to the AI. You have given an equation related to the theme, that is marginalization is equal to systematic exclusion. And this is happening in the society. This was happening in the society since long ago. But with the help, at the time of this advent of technology, the technology, it is also not the exception. As he has explained here, during the industrial revolution, a working class was created, but during this AI revolution, unworking class it is getting created. And this is a dangerous sign or a dangerous future for the coming generations. If the AI, it will kill all the jobs, then definitely the youths, they will have to think and they will have to learn in a different perspective. And different skills and competencies they will have to develop so that they can survive and they can achieve the jobs in the corporate world. Sir has explained EU AI Act, which classifies high-risk AI and mandates compilations. And on the similar line, our Indian government also, they are trying to adopt a very strict AI compliances or guidelines. India AI governance also reflected local marginalization. AI ethics, sir has said, AI ethics should align with constitutional values. Because during the technology time, where is value, it is getting vanishing. Therefore, the generation, they should think it and try to follow it in their actual life. Lastly, I express our sincere gratitude and thankfulness to our respected keynote speaker, Mr. Vivek Sawant, for his delivering the keynote speaker. Thank you.